Hey everyone, Mike here. Thanks for tuning in. And today we're going to talk about why networking is so important to making a successful military transition. And we're going to start with the bottom line. And the bottom line is this: you can't just apply to online job postings and think that you're going to get an interview or a job out of it. It's just simply not going to happen in today's competitive job market. Okay? And case in point is my personal job search. So when I was searching for a job, I targeted 34 different companies. And out of those 34, 16 of those companies, I wasn't able to network with anyone who worked at that corporation. I didn't know any veteran employees, couldn't connect with anyone. All I did was simply find a position from their website that I was interested in applying to, submitted my resume, and I fired and forgot. Okay, that was all I did. And as a result, I received 0 interviews. I received 0 callbacks for interviews out of those 16 companies. In 18 of the other companies, I was able to connect with a veteran employee who worked there. And whether it was someone who I'd known previously or if it was someone who I connected on LinkedIn with, I was able to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm applying for this position. Would you mind ensuring that my resume gets a good look? Or would you mind referring me for this position? And out of those 18 companies, I received 10 interviews. 10. So 16 companies, no connections, 0 interviews. 18 companies, all connections, 10 interviews. So my chances of getting an interview increased by over 50% by just knowing another veteran employee who worked there and having him vouch for me, him or her vouch for me. So if you were told that by doing a certain action that your chances of success would increase by over 50%, wouldn't you do it? I mean, it's common sense, right? So, but networking gets a bad rap from a lot of veterans. A lot of guys and girls look at it as if you're brown nosing, or if you're kissing butt, or you're using other people to advance your own self-interests. And in the military, we don't network. You can't just walk up to your commanding officer and say, hey sir, or hey ma'am, I'd really like to know what you do on a day-to-day basis. Would you mind getting a beer with me, or do you have time to grab a coffee? I mean, you could do that, but you're probably going to get body slammed by your first sergeant. So a lot of veterans transition out, and they don't really understand what networking is, and they think that it's a bad term. Okay, but let me phrase it to you this way: how many of you went out on a mission, went on a combat patrol, or when you're overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan, you did a mission all by yourself? How many of you left a wire completely by yourself and went on a mission? None of you. Okay, you always left with your squad, and you guys looked after each other and made sure you completed the mission and you had each other's backs. It's the same thing when you come home now. Okay, there's no way you're going to make a military transition on your own. You just can't do it. You're not going to find a job on your own. You're not going to get into college. You're not going to be successful. You may think that you are, but you're going to find out the hard way that you're not going to be able to do it on your own. So when you leave the military, you're leaving the wire again. Okay, you're going out into the Indian country, and you need other people around you who are going to be able to help you along your way. So networking isn't about using other people. It's not about trying to advance your own self-interest. It's about building a team around you, and it's about joining other people's teams, and it's about building a squad or a network of people who are going to mutually support one another. So that's what that's what it is. It's building trust and making friends. And you're not going to be able to make that transition on your own. So that's what really networking is. That's why networking is so important to making your military transition. You're not going to do it on your own. You need it. You need that squad again. But the only thing here is that no one is assigned to have your back anymore. Okay, you have to build your own squad, and you have to join other squads, and you have to kind of do it all yourself. So the next few videos, we're going to talk about more specifically how companies hire people, and why it's a little bit more difficult for veterans to get that look, and why we'll give a little bit more specific reasons why networking and how you can network into those corporations to ensure you get an interview. And we'll also talk about where you can begin making connections in your community. All right, thanks for tuning in.